Hunt Showdown is a first-person multiplayer shooter developed by Crytek, and it's an absolute lesson in sound design. The game takes place in the rural south of the United States in the 19th century, where there has been a monster infestation. You play as a bounty hunter, with the goal of finding the hiding place of a boss monster and killing him, then banishing his corpse and getting out of the map alive with his bounty. The catch is that in every match there are 5 pairs of players, all going for the same objective. Every team spawns in random locations, and you find the boss by getting to the various compounds there are in the map and revealing clues. After 3 clues, you pinpoint the boss location. As you don't know where the other players are, or the main objective, you spend most of the time moving through the map listening with close attention for signals of enemy players, while you try to conceal yourself as much as possible. Dying in this game means losing your hunter and all his equipment, that you've bought with hard-earned money, and losing nets you almost nothing. You get where I'm going? Hunt Showdown is a game where your biggest enemy is sound itself. Welcome to Listening to Games. Did you ever lay barely awake at night when you heard a strange noise, you don't know what it is, and then when you try to listen carefully you notice the huge amount of small noises that your brain just filter out? Then you have to listen hard to see if there's something out of the ordinary. This is something you'll be doing all the time in Hunt Showdown. The game features a spectacular soundscape that feels natural in a way no other game does, and thus not only sounds impressive, but also directly changes the way the game is played. You are constantly bombarded by a wave of sounds of everything that's happening around you. The zombies stumbling around, the dogs whining, the crows chirping, the wood creaking, and so on. And you constantly have to force your ears to try and pick up something out of all of that. Was that a step? Yes. Is it a player or just a zombie? That happens all the time, and it's really important for building the game's atmosphere. But, of course, the calm will be broken by the sound of gunshots and other players making noise through the map, thus revealing that you're not alone and you're never really safe. And, of course, you're trying to move through the map as quietly as possible. That's where the clever game design of Hunt shows itself. The map is filled with hazards that will reveal your position if you're not careful. All of those means that you need to move smart and patiently, otherwise you just might wake up the whole farm. But these hazards can be dealt with. That generally means making a little bit of noise that might alert players near you, but at least won't reveal where you are to everyone in the map. And just to finish the list, there are some other small things that you also need to look out for. There are places with simple noise traps like these cans hanging from the ceiling, or the broken glass that will amplify the noise of your footsteps even when moving slowly. So even when sneaking, you have to be aware of your surroundings. And doors are 2 designed so that you can't get into somewhere silently. Your character will also open doors faster or quieter, depending on whether they are crouching or running. The sound-based gameplay lowers a lot the game speed, and makes what would be otherwise just another shooter into something atmospheric, tactical, and also scary. And, of course, there are the zombies themselves. Each kind of zombie has its very own grotesque and unique sound design. stars of the show are the bosses. There are currently 3 bosses in the game and they're all incredibly well designed. The first time you meet them, they really terrify you with their looks and their sound. There are some ways the player can also directly manipulate the soundscape of the game to throw off other players. You can bring along the coins to turn stuff, you can place tripwires to make sound when activated, there are gunshot decoys, and you can find in the game map bear traps that are more important because of the sound they make than because of the damage they deal. There's also in the world stuff that you can activate to produce sound. Those include big generators, self-playing pianolas, record players, and bells. Wrapping up the atmosphere of Hunt is just how gritty everything is. Walking through a wooden shack makes everything creak. You're all the time hearing flies and stepping through wet mud. Everything is dirty and there's a heavy ambience almost everywhere. Your character breathes heavily when running and grunts when hurt in a way to make you feel like you're playing like an angry farmer who kills demons for a living. And, from a sound design perspective, it's interesting to notice how the sound effects were made in a way to really reflect the world. Listen to some geese I recorded at a park. Now I will clean it up, shop it, and layer it on top of the game's ambience. I don't think it fits just like that into the game's aesthetics, so I changed it a bit by pitching it down to make the birds sound a little bit more evil. And now, I'll add an equalizer to limit how much of the recording takes place of the sound spectrum. A little bit of delay and reverb to thicken and darken the sound. And there's a little bit of distortion to color it, and compression to glue it together. Now, it feels like there could be geese in the bio. With the game taking place at the turn of the century, the gun design is made to reflect the mechanical beasts that they are. They are heavy duty, mechanized, and they kick hard. With this in mind, not even the simple pistols are made in a way to sound weak. top it off, hitting a headshot gives you one of the most satisfying hit markers ever. And I challenge you to think of a game where being near a gunfight sounds so awesome and so scary at the same time.
I found out what the zombies want.
What?
They want music.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, please like the video and subscribe. If you know any other game that has a sound design worth its own video, let me know. Stay tuned for the next ones. See you!